The mass elimination of Pakistani terrorists from Kashmir has baffled the country, which has increased cross-border shelling at the LoC to facilitate infiltration of more recruits from its terror launch pads and to supply arms and ammunition into Kashmir. Condemning Islamabad's devious designs of terror in Kashmir, researchers warn that Pakistan has been using terrorism as a tool to unleash violence and chaos in Jammu and Kashmir, to frighten the locals and misguiding a section of population to develop distrust towards the Indian government and take up weapons. A report.
Be it terror attacks or cross-border fighting, Pakistan's evil designs against Kashmir have claimed thousands of lives, including civilians and security forces, since decades in the region. Jealous of Jammu and Kashmir's development and progressive policies, Islamabad is trying tooth and nail to revive terrorism in the valley. Between 2019 and 2020, Indian security forces have aggressively launched a series of counter-terror operations, eliminating several terror commanders and their recruits from Kashmir's Pulwama, Poonch, Bandipora, Avantipora, Rajouri and Sopore districts, to name a few. Various Pakistan-aided terror networks have also been dismantled under these operations.
About 250 to 300 militants are fully occupied in the launch pads. So this is a little disturbing news, but since Indian Army knows this information, there is nothing to worry about it, as they have already killed 2 while infiltrating. As and when anyone tries to infiltrate, howsoever strong they may be, Indian Army will kill them on the same spot from where they will enter. This we have to take it that we are fully alert now, and we will not allow any such infiltration in the border.
In response to its fallen terrorist and terror networks, Pakistani military immediately escalates the frequency of infiltration attempts of terrorists into Kashmir. This is done by intensifying cross-border shelling at the LoC to provide cover fire to the infiltrating terrorists that even claim the lives of Kashmiri locals living at the border villages. This week again, Pakistani troops resorted to unprovoked cross-border firing at the LoC, killing 3 people from Poonch. The deceased were having dinner while sitting outside when a shell landed near them and exploded, killing all of them instantly. A man, a woman and a minor were among the ones killed.
कोई रात मतलब 9:20 का टाइम था. जो पहला बम था वो आन के उनके मतलब चूल्हे के पास ही गिरा, तो उस मतलब पहले ही फायर में उनका डेथ हो गया. उसके बाद भी हमारा मकान के साइड में मतलब बहुत बम गिरे.
In order to protect the civilians from incessant firing from Pakistan's side, the government has sped up the construction of bunkers for border villages. Local authorities in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory are constructing the underground bunkers in full swing for civilians who often live in fear of shelling and firing at the border villages. As many as 18 underground bunkers will be built in the Uri area of the district, out of which work on 6 of them is underway. As bullets and mortar shells sometimes land on their properties, resulting in loss of lives, injuries and physical damages, the government has undertaken the task of building the bunkers along the border areas to reduce casualties during ceasefire violation.
बॉर्डर करीब 2-3 किलोमीटर दूर है वहाँ से. जब शेलिंग होती है वहाँ पर बहुत नुकसान हुआ. हमारे पहले पीछे मोर्चे नहीं थे, अभी गवर्नमेंट ने मोर्चे दिए हैं तो बहुत बढ़िया किया है. हम लोगों के लिए सेफ्टी बनी हुई है.
While Indian Union government is dedicated towards safeguarding its citizens from the menace of terrorism caused by Pakistan, the latter is busy hatching conspiracies to inflict damage upon India. A viral video released recently shows hundreds of jihadists holding a meeting in Ali Sujal near Rawalakot, declaring that they will cross the LoC. The video is clear proof of how the vicious idea of jihad against Kashmir overwhelms the entire Pakistani establishment and a majority of its radicalized population. Countries from across the world solve bilateral disputes by indulging into amicable diplomacy, but Pakistan believes otherwise. This western neighbor of India uses terrorism as an alternate to diplomacy to resolve its issues with India. The country, which is lacking a secular structure and illegitimately holds a large section of land, consistently tries to target India's vibrant democracy, secularism, and its boundaries by propagating jihadist ideologies from its territory and the territories under its forceful occupation.
It is clear that Pakistan has issues with India because Pakistan is not a secular democratic state with the same kind of diverse constitution and diverse ethnicity which India has and India is feeling very proud of having. Pakistan is very reluctant to extend the same courtesies to its minorities and to its ethnicities. What is it doing? It's actually trying to create an issue in Jammu and Kashmir to extend the boundaries of Pakistan itself and its influence. And partly that's to do with keeping the attention on areas outside Pakistan itself.
Pakistan, a country with a poor economic graph and crippled infrastructure, remains preoccupied in supporting terror activities against India. While its own civilians are suffering under poor governance during the times of pandemic, the country's leadership is busy architecting plans to hamper peace and tranquility in India. It is in Pakistan's interest to stop indulging into anti-India activities as soon as possible. Otherwise, the time is not far when it will be left isolated in a sophisticated global society.